Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Premier League special Khanage, pre-match Khanage, I should say. And you know what? It's been about 5 years where I can go into a weekend of football like this, what we're about to witness, what we're about to see and experience, have no dog in the fight, kick back, relax, put my feet up on the Saturday and the Sunday and just enjoy the game. Because that's what Liverpool have done to me right now, people. That's what Liverpool have done to me right now. I'm in relax. Yo, bro. I can't.
Do you know what?
I can't lift up my feet. Yeah, but you see what kind of footwear I'm wearing over weekend. That's me.
Do you know what? Do you know what? Monts just summed it up. I was just on Big Sixpence with Monts, and he summed it up, and I agree with him because obviously I know, because I was talking about back in the day when we were bad and when we first started getting better. Yeah, and I think it was around the time when maybe we were competing with Tottenham for the Europa League places, right? And I remember going to the pub with my best mate, Mario, who's an Arsenal fan, right? And they lost to Man United, and I was due to go to his house to have Sunday dinner, right? From we left the pub, back to my car, drove back to his. We didn't say a word to each other. He got out the car, walked in his house, and I just thought, I ain't going in for Sunday dinner because he hadn't mentioned it. His Mrs. Rami was like, is everything all right? Mario's just gone in the house and gone to bed. And at that point, I thought, if we get good, yeah, really good, I'd never want football to do that to me, yeah? And it has slightly got to that point now where all of a sudden, if we don't win, and Monts tonight was saying he feels at peace with himself now because all of a sudden his expectations, and it is mad, when you get to a certain point, you're just like, whatever, man. Football's football. I'll go to the game. I'll enjoy it. It's more of an experience, isn't it? There's no pressure. It's just an experience. Whereas now it's like it can impact your moods, man. It's mad.
That's the stage I'm at, bro. I'm not letting it impact my mood anymore. It impacted my health last week, brother. Bill, I will tell you, I've been sick for about 10 days because of Liverpool.
Well, I mean, I don't know, bro. There's some mad viruses going around the country.
Yeah, no, but you got to blame Liverpool, innit? You got to blame your club. You got to blame your club. But listen, people, Pixelate Pigeon is in the building. He already knows. He always says the right thing. He says evening all and evening all to the panel. Smash the like on your way in. That's the first and foremost thing to do. House rules, courtyard rules, palace rules, all of them rules. As you come in, you smash the like button, and then I introduce you to the people. Then, of course, I got Bilal. Bilal was well hyped. Bilal was well gassed. Bilal was well excited. How you doing, Bilal?
Yeah, no, I'm doing good. Coming off the back, I think everyone was enjoying Friday night football. Saw some people watching Villa Leeds for some reason. I was there watching Kvaradona and Osimhen.
Woo! Fire starters, that team right now. Because you got to remember, Juve went on the back of 7 clean sheets.
Woo, 5-1. Damn.
7 clean sheets, Daps. Juve were back. Allegri ball was back. 7 clean sheets, loads of last-minute winners. The old lady was back in town, and Napoli said, yo, do you know who we are right now? Do you know who we are right now?
I said it, yeah, that they're the one team for 2 reasons I don't want to face in the Champions League. Firstly, because of all the away days, I think that could be potentially could get very messy over there from what I've heard. Secondly, that also they're the one team that, and admittedly, we're not scoring that many at the moment, but when we were bagging a lot of goals, I thought, but they'll bag more. This is the thing. And I did go and have a look at the odds of them winning the Champions League because I'm not going to lie, yeah. They're a team that I don't think anyone wants to face at the moment.
Nah, you don't want to face Napoli right now. Honestly, God. And I look, I have to bring Liverpool somehow into the conversation just because I have pity and it's my channel, right? So
you're allowed to.
Napoli remind me of Liverpool 3-4 years ago. Just energy, pressing, and that front three, deadly. We got Saeed in the building. He's saying, Osimhen to Man United 2023. I need him, bro.
When they win the league. When they win the league, will come in it.
Mike, obviously we can segue into United fan Michael. How you doing? I know you watched the game as well. We're going to come into the real reason why we want you to speak on the Manc derby in a minute. But do you agree with Saeed A? And did you watch Napoli destroy the old lady?
Yeah, I was watching my favorite hoops, Lob City Napoli. That's what I like to call them, because Maradona to Osimhen is just basically Lob City. He just lobbed that ball up, and Osimhen goes and gets it. Nah, if we get Osimhen, don't let us get Osimhen. Don't let us get Osimhen. Bruno will be looking at Osimhen with love eyes, seeing that target in the box to just feed him the cross. It's
he's a serious player, striker, forward. He's a machine, man. Much love from America Grizz. Love the North London derby. Yeah, we're gonna get into the North London derby as well, because that's on Sunday, right?
Sunday 4:30. Yeah.
There
Sunday,
you go.
4:30.
So we're gonna talk about the Manchester derby first, maybe, in a North London derby. And of course, for the North London derby, I've got Patrick repping the Lily Whites. Patrick, what are you saying, bro? How you been?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Feeling good. As you know, when it's derby day or derby week, I've just been so busy, like on all these different podcasts and streams. Yeah, it's going good on radio tomorrow as well. So yeah, it's going good, man. A pleasure and an honor to be here with you, Grizz. Podcasting royalty. Daps is Man City royalty. Like I said, Man City are my second team right now because they're the only team I feel can stop these dirty gooners. And Daps, Jan, and Bish. Yeah, they're all
hold tight, Bish and Jan.
Yeah, we're coming together. Like,
it's mad how friendships are forged suddenly in times like this.
Trust me.
It's so
for the
mad.
greater good. It's for the greater good, Grizz.
Listen, I was relying on Man United last season. I was relying on Man United. Take some points off Man City. Do this. I was like, it was mad. I'm telling you, first in my life, I was ringing up Saeed and offering him dinner and shit. I was like, wow, let's go Nando's. Let's do anything, man. Do something. He's like, he just kept saying, it ain't easy. It ain't easy.
It ain't easy. But the mad thing is, I was the same because I up and maybe this season, it's mad. This season I've watched Liverpool a fair few times, yeah. But it does go by my whole reason why I didn't watch Liverpool last season or the season before. You don't want to watch your rivals when your rivals are looking good. It's just long, right? And
it is.
Even more so with Liverpool, because Liverpool would often go a goal down, but you'd know they're going to come back. And it would piss me off when people in the group, Liverpool goal down after 10 minutes. I'm like, we've seen this before. Why are you getting trigger happy, right? Whereas last season, I watched Liverpool once until towards the very end of the season. And that one time was against Tottenham. Then when I saw you were playing Tottenham again, I thought, hold on a second. The one time I've watched Liverpool was against Tottenham and they dropped points. So I watched it again and guess what? You drop points, but you find yourself doing the maddest of things, like just the hope that it might help your team to win the league. Like
I'm like that. I'm not gonna
not know that one, but
no, I'm not gonna lie. Because I'm a mad football purist as well. I watched Man City games. I'm one of the few people I used to just watch them, even when you like 2-0 after 5 minutes. Yeah, I know, horrible, but you know what I mean? It toughens you up in life, brother. It toughens you up in life. I'm where I am because I watch Man City destroy teams for a living. That's sick. Do you know how sick I am? I'm sick, anti-Hopkins shit. That's me, bro. I'm mad. But anyway, people saying Grizz has got the war hat on. I've got a war hat on, not for myself, for these people, bro. I'm telling you now, it's war out here. And over the weekend, this is going to be war. So I'm repping both games today. That's why I got the war hat. This ain't a Liverpool thing. Don't get it twisted. We're going to Brighton and getting whooped. So I'm not even.
You ain't.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one, Patrick. I'm with you on that one. I think you lot of like I've heard most Liverpool fans saying that. I don't see it, bro.
Yeah,
we got no striker, brother. We got no striker.
Well, play Salah in the middle, and it might come good.
That's all we got. We got Salah FC. Tomorrow we are Salah FC. No Virgil and none of our strikers.
Oh yeah,
so Holland did all right without a striker, innit?
Yeah.
Who?
Holland did all right without a striker.
I see you doing these ones, innit? I'm gonna be very honest with you. I don't think we're gonna lose. All right, here we go. I think we'll get a draw.
There you go.
Yeah. I'm not one of these. I never predict a loss. But we'll get a draw, man. So the war hat's on for you people, you know.
On your mental health, though. I'm not gonna lie. I used to do that, bro.
See, look at the Liverpool fans in the building. Brian scoring minimum 3 against us. You know what I mean? If Mo has another game, we're cooked tomorrow. I'm telling you, it's on this weekend. It's getting ugly. Liverpool fan, I'm telling you, we're struggling. We're struggling mentally, man. But listen, enough of the Liverpool chat. Bro, this is wow. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm not involved, like emotionally, but I'm so excited. It's proper mad weekend. Like Man United, Man City tomorrow Daps, I'll start with you. Man City in the last, 5-6 seasons? I don't even know. You probably know more.
Last five. Let's go
last
last
5
five.
seasons. Last 5 seasons.
Yeah.
They've got a okay record at your ground. Okay record. Not great, not bad. Okay, it's good. You've got a few results here and there. And the Ole, remember, and all that business. But you guys, when you go to Old Trafford,
oh, it's longer than 5. Oh, sorry. If you're meaning us going to Old Trafford and turn him over, it's longer than 5. I thought you meant overall in the Premier League. Yeah, bro, you got to remember, 6-1 was Mancini. 6-1 was Mancini, bro. That was
so check this out. So check this out. You're going to Old Trafford tomorrow, right? Not the greatest of forms, but the question, or first I want to know is that am I right in saying that? And secondly, how I'm going to caveat that by saying is I've never seen you guys, and correct me if I'm wrong, I may be wrong, I've never seen you guys have 2 stinkers in a row. And that's what gives me
first season Pep.
That's what gives me belief that I think you're going to turn up tomorrow. What's your thoughts?
Right, so first season Pep, I believe since his first season, which was 6 seasons ago, I think the most we've gone without a win is it's either 2 or 3 games, right? Look, to sum up the derby, firstly and foremostly, it is the biggest derby for a long, long time for so many reasons. Firstly, because, look, Man United fans, whether they want to say it or not, some are saying it with chest. 1 or 2 are coming out now and saying it with chest. Others are saying things like, we're not in a title race, but the next 3 games, which to me is if you put a but in there, it means inside you've got your good side and bad side battling it out. One wants to believe, the other doesn't. So ultimately, you do think so. And I've even had some that are telling me they're beating Arsenal, they're beating City, they're beating Palace, but they won't believe until the next 3 games. I like, but you believe you're going to win your next 3 games. Therefore, you think you're in a title race. So firstly, it's a big derby because this could be the time that United's kind of come back and plant their flag in and say, we are back, right? If they beat City in the derby, I'll say, you know what? Because I already rate Ten Hag, they're back, yeah?
But forget them. I want you to talk on your team.
Right,
tell me about how you're playing. So last game, what we know, the last 2 games, I should say, what was the last league game?
Chelsea 1-0, no?
Chelsea 1-0. Bad performance, but a result.
But you got the result, right?
Yeah.
And then you went to Southampton, changed the squad again, whatever, and an awful performance and an awful result as well. That's what I mean. I mean, in terms of performances, I very rarely remember you guys putting 2 stinkers in a row. And that's what gives me confidence. We're going to go into United and how they're playing.
Yeah, no.
What's the problem? What's the issue?
Grizz, from a City point of view, we can talk short term, but when we came out the Everton game, I even said, Steve, we have to be real, bro. If we go back before the World Cup, it's Brentford at home. We lost. Before that, it's Fulham, a 96th minute penalty. Before that, it's Brentford, which we won 3-1, but looked very, very, very bad against, to be frank with you, yeah? So our form has been very
indifferent.
And I understand why. Look, people don't want context, but it is because ultimately we have been very domestically dominant with a false 9.
We like context on this channel. Speak away, bro.
And the false 9 is Pep's preferred style of football because it allows midfield dominance, yeah? And this was one of my biggest issues with Haaland, that when Haaland comes in, we give up one midfielder ultimately, right? So what Pep has been doing all season is trying to find a way to play with your fullbacks that we usually have one that inverts, but he's trying to invert them both, right? Now, as a team that everyone knows, the one blueprint that if you pull it off, and you have to be very fucking good to pull it off, but if you can soak up City's pressure and hit them on the counter, that's the way to get at them. Now, that becomes easier if you're inverting both of your fullbacks, right? So it's opened us up. Then we've had the issues of, and by the way, these are not excuses, they're just reasons. We've then had the fact that I can't even think of a 2-game run of the same centre-back pairing because of injury, ever. And Pep is tinkering because in Pep's style, he wants midfield dominance while you also have a number 9, right? And now, so here is the thing. we've had to do this to bring in a number 9 that could make us better than we were the last 2 years, right? So currently, we are not as good as we were. I believe that Pep is the best manager in the world to find a solution to his problem. But at this point, he hasn't. And I think that's maybe led to maybe a little bit of morale in the dressing room dropping a bit as well. Now, here's the thing. Tomorrow is all about Pep Guardiola. It's very simple. He decides on where the game goes tomorrow, because if he, 1, motivates the players, and 2, picks the right players, I think every single person on this panel and in the comments would agree the best Manchester City beats the best Manchester United. So it's on Pep. Yeah. If he gets it right, picks the right personnel and motivates them, we win. If he doesn't, it could be a long day.
We're gonna get the Man United version in a minute, but I want to sandwich the Man City opinion on the situation and feeling between 2 neutrals, and of course Bilal and Bilal and Patrick might not be neutral actually because of the state of play in the league.
I'm not a neutral. I'm City all the way. Trust me.
Exactly because of the state of play in the league table and whatnot. Yeah. Come to you, Patrick, first. So try to take that biasness away. But talking about on the game, how are you looking at this game then from a stylistically, form-wise? What you seen as a football fan, as opposed to being a Spurs fan and needing Man City to do this?
Like Dap said, there's a lot of interesting variables in this one. Obviously, 100%, Dap's hit the nail on the head. Man City, arguably on paper, and even over the last few years, and with the caliber of the players they have, they should win the game. But we know that Man United go into this game in great form. I think they've won 4 or 5 on the bounce, sandwiched in between a good cup run. Rashford's in scintillating form. It's the best we've seen Rashford in a long time. Bruno's looking like he's comfortable and competent again on the ball. Luke Shaw's had a he's rejuvenated. Wow. He's playing on the flank. He's playing as a centre-back. De Gea looks a bit better. So to be fair, United fans should go into this game in good confidence. City are a scary team on their day, but the problem for me is that City, and obviously I've been G'ing up City and just like, come on, Man City, come on. And even against Southampton, I don't know, something's not quite right there. And I think, you've got a monster in Haaland, a robot, a machine, but they've kind of lost a bit of that magic trying to incorporate him into the team, in my opinion. And which is normal. I'm gonna be like, I'm pure devil's advocate today, and I try to look at football from as much as hard as it is on certain platforms and certain shows. But when I'm talking real, I try to take everything out of it. You know the deal, right? But it was always going to be a transition of types stylistically, because their style was not so unique, because Barcelona done it, a few teams have done it, Man City done it before, but their style was so complete that it was always going to be a bit of a shock to the system, tweak to the system. It was going to take time, because Haaland is nothing like they've ever had before since probably under Pep anyway, nothing like. So it was going to take time. How people didn't realize that is beyond me, right? Because it's going to take time, teething problems.
Yeah, I think even with what Pep on Haaland as well, that's interesting is what hold tight, Steve made me aware of this. What he's heard from someone that's close to the club is that in training, Haaland is actually trying to drop deep, right, and almost get involved in the midfield, and Pep is telling him no. Because the minute you do that, you are pulling all these defenders closer to the midfield. Basically, you're closing down the gap the midfield has to operate in, which is where I want to operate. So you need to stay there to help hold that gap we need. And it's very, I think this is what Pep's, and there was one point against Southampton where I think it's when they scored their second and the camera went on him. And he was just sat there and you could see. And I said, it looks like Pep is literally on his computer in his head, trying to find, or in a library, trying to find the potion. And he's like, I can't remember where I put it. There's something, but I think he's tinkering. He doesn't know.
He does that, but that's normal Pep. And, to still maintain the levels that he's maintained and still switching it up, subtly inverted fullbacks, both inverted fullbacks, playing with wide wingers, then tucking them in, now playing with every time he's tweaked it, he's remained at the top, which is pretty much spot on. Makes him elite in my eyes. Just going on the back of what you said and what Patrick said, super chat from AJ Jammer says, City don't have that fear factor anymore. Come on, you Gunners. I'm going to come on to you Gunners now, Bilal, and how you see this game. Like, to me, it was always going to be like this. Liverpool bought a big man. It was always going to be transition season. City have handled it better, but City haven't looked that all-conquering, all-controlling animal that we're used to.
Yeah, 100%. Watching Man City this year, it's not like, for example, Grizz, talk about not having a dog in the fight, right? For the most part of the last few years, I've not had a dog in the fight. So I've been enjoying watching Man City. And of course, when they've been playing with the false nine, a lot of the time, De Bruyne in that role, I've really, really enjoyed that. But I really didn't understand why, obviously they had to sell them in the end, Sterling and Jesus at the same time, because obviously they didn't want to give Sterling that contract. Jesus wanted to leave, had 1 year left on his deal. So financially, yes, they had to sell them. Of course, FFP, they can invest in the future, all sorts. So I understand that. But when you go and invest in a striker like Haaland, I always felt like it was key to at least keep a Raheem Sterling type player. If not, go and get someone in who can really stretch the game, offer something different. Because I feel like Man City are losing. Let's be honest, they lose that control and element of, confusion with Haaland up top. With Haaland, yes,
really good point. Yeah.
With Haaland, we know what he's gonna do. His goals are all gonna come in the box most of the time. His link-up play isn't amazing. It's okay. It's not bad, but it's not okay.
What I like that you said it's not bad, because I think that's a good way of saying it. It's not bad. It's
not bad. It's okay. It's nothing special, but it's manageable. He can obviously link up play. It's not like you can't do it. But his main strengths are running in behind, getting in the box, being an absolute, havoc, and just scoring goals. But the thing is now with Man City, with the way they're trying to play, and I think Pep's now trying to compensate for having Haaland now with the more of the inverted fullbacks, right? He's trying to get more control in the game, more control of the game. But when you do that, you leave a lot of spaces open. So he hasn't found that balance yet. And the thing is, right, even the other night in the FA Cup, I know it's the FA Cup and Chelsea are Chelsea, right? But even watching the likes of Alvarez and Foden, players who are a little bit more fluid, who are a little bit more able to go and interchange. Like Foden, for a lot of that game, if you watched him, he would hang out in that left centre mid sort of area. He was just waiting, like playing that kind of high role, but he would come inside a lot of the times as well. You didn't really know how to mark him. Alvarez the same. Riyad Mahrez now, I think he's, as I say with Mahrez, he's lost that summer weight. Second half of the season, Mahrez always turns up.
Well, do you know what no one spoke on with Mahrez, right? And there are, it's such a, to look at City, there's so much you need to talk on. And I think this is where Pep's find it hard, because there's so many things. And I think he's battling it inside, because one of the things that we need is Walker's runs in, right. So Walker got injured second game of the season, I believe. Newcastle, I'm pretty certain, was second or third game. From that point, Mahrez, up until Chelsea in the Carabao Cup, just before the World Cup, Mahrez was playing the whole of that part with no right back, right? It wasn't because Rico Lewis hadn't appeared. It was only John Stones or Khanage, who ultimately aren't right backs, right? And everyone was putting it on, Mahrez is looking poor. If you go and look at Mahrez, since Walker and Rico Lewis have been playing on the right, his output has gone through the roof. And it's because if you are a player like Riyad Mahrez, you need someone either overlapping you or underlapping you. If you don't have that, Riyad Mahrez becomes invisible because he doesn't have what he... And there's that on that side. With Grealish, when Cancelo isn't behind Grealish, then Grealish is always coming inside trying to play the simple pass, which is fine. But that's where you need Cancelo to put the ball in the box. If you've got Ake there, well, he ain't going to put the ball in the box. So all of a sudden, there's no distribution into the box. And it's all... And I think Pep is battling with that the midfield dominance and inverting the wingers and also ball recycling against Chelsea in the FA Cup, was it? Yeah, FA Cup. When we have more players in the midfield, including Alvarez, it's no coincidence. We win the ball back quicker, right? And that is what City's dominance has been based on. 3-second rule, getting the ball back as quickly as possible. Again, if you have one less player in midfield, you're not doing that. And it's just, there's so many different things. But
well, look, everything that we've discussed so far, right? And I think we've maybe looked on the negatives a bit too much. Bilal, they're still operating at a very, very high level. And as I said, I probably, after Daps, I probably kept a closer eye than all of you lot on Man City for obvious reasons, yeah? And I can't remember 2 stinkers in a row. How do you see tomorrow's game, just generally, before we get the Man United aspect?
From the Man City perspective, I think actually in the bigger games, they're actually more set up in a way to actually do something more dangerous in a weird way. And that's because Pep likes using, of course, Foden a lot, obviously, on the left wing in all the big games. If you look at the teams that they played about, the smaller teams in the league, he's gone with Grealish to give him more passes, that he said, right, to get more control, I'd imagine. But when he's playing a Man United, he's thinking, let me just play Foden, who's a little bit more direct, but also he'll offer him, in the midfield, something as well. So I can see tomorrow Foden, Mahrez, Haaland starting as a front three, and then really trying to cause some damage that way.
Remember the last game?
Yeah, exactly.
The last game was Foden, Haaland, Grealish, and Grealish had an outstanding game. But
we're gonna get to, let's hold tight on those selections and ideas. We're gonna line up. Sleeping Dragon's in the building as well. Big up yourself, Sleeping Dragon, every time.
Sleeping Dragon everywhere,
Yeah, Sleeping Dragon. You know what I mean? Well, he's not sleeping much,
sleeping.
is he? Really, innit? Yeah. Man ain't sleeping much. Michael, you've been on the receiving end of banter and jokes for so long now. Suddenly, your man Ten Hag, and fair play to you. Fair play to you. From the early days, you said Ten Hag is the man, and you had no doubts about him, and you was ready to back him in every decision and call he made, whether it means kicking out Ronaldo or kicking out Martial or whatever. I'm just giving examples of names. I'm not saying he's kicked them out or whatever, but I'm just saying it's all justified now because you go into a Manchester derby not worried about getting beat up. Am I right?
I don't know about that. I got humbled in October.
Really?
So I can't say I'm fully confident. Well, you guys talked about Man City not having back-to-back stinkers. I said this on Twitter like a couple of days ago. I said Pep doesn't have the word back-to-back losses in his Merriam-Webster dictionary. It does not exist. He doesn't know what the word back-to-back losses is. And he's doing his little mind games talking about I'm tinkering with ideas. Gundogan's coming out saying motivation ain't there. I know they're going to be motivated for a Manchester derby. Absolutely. Because they know that United is slowly on the rise again. They're seeing what we're doing over there. I don't think we'll actually get beat up, but I'm never going to say, wait, for Grizz, you're saying football's a humbler. Haaland could easily score in the first 5 minutes tomorrow, and I'm going to see another 6-3 loss. So I'm not going to.
But this is my point. Are you really going to be in that feeling of demotion in terms of if you go down? Because I see enough in this United team not to let the drop. Like we knew last season, season before we know. Every season we know, Man City score, you're dead. You're finished. Because you ain't touching the ball. As we've just discussed, Man City don't control games like they do anymore. There's always a small little window. You need to just go looking in the house. Go looking in the house. You find sign open. You know what I mean? I'm sounding like a. You know
it's fine, Grizz. You're right.
I'm saying like an ex-criminal or something. You need to just, you need to keep looking. There will be something open. And
you do sound like a criminal. I'm not gonna lie.
I know, man. You need to stop that. But what I mean by that is that coincided with what you guys are showing suggests that it's not going to be one-sided like it's been. It's been a training session.
Yeah, and I mean it can't get worse than last year because last year that derby at Old Trafford was literally the worst game I ever experienced in my life. Man City treated us like we were year 11s. It was an absolutely disgraceful performance. But the thing about the first goal is Manc United are the only team in the Prem to not drop points when they score first this season. We've won every single game we scored in first, every single game. But I've seen us go down, and that one turns into 2, and then it turns into 3. We saw Aston Villa. Yeah. We were in good form going into Aston Villa, and they scored 2 goals in the first 10 minutes. And from then on, it was a long day. Obviously, we've been in a lot better form since that game. But I don't know if City scored in the first 15 minutes. First 15 minutes is the most important thing for that. If we can control the first 15 minutes, because City in the first 15 minutes. Same with Arsenal, they're dominant and they could get at you so quick. The derby, like I'll keep referring to the last derby. I knew we were gonna lose within the first 2 minutes because I saw Haaland have a shot on goal within 30 seconds. I'm like, it's gonna be a long day. They're gonna slap 5 of us past us, and they slap 6. But I do have a little uber confidence because I heard John Stones is out, and I rate John Stones very highly. He's the best City center back in my opinion. I might see Rico Lewis at right back.
The best English center back by none, and possibly one of the best in Europe. That's how much I rate him.
I'm glad
Like my guy
people know
Mir
it's
says, best in the world.
Do you know what? It's with John Stones, yeah, is we've always known he's a good ball player, right? But what you've seen, and do you know what? It does make sense because it happens when you grow as a player, you get better in it. Like you learn to read the game better. And I think Diaz has massively contributed to John Stones. Because if you look at when John Stones defensively started getting better, it was Diaz's first season where Diaz was often pushing John Stones into positions, telling him, go there. And John Stones was willing to listen to him, right? And I just feel he's come on leaps and bounds. And whereas Maguire, you could say, has got worse, John Stones has just got better and better and better. And he, for me, if his availability was a little bit better, because his availability, it can be irritating, he's unreal. And he also, the passion with him as well. The City fans, I can tell you now, that Atletico Madrid game away last year, that was a battle, right? John Stones was special. He's a passionate player. He's a big miss.
You know what? I've got this way of doing things. I don't like clubs reps bigging up their own players. I always like to hear other people's opinion and perspective. It's always interesting because I do that for Liverpool. I always in it, Bilal. I always do that. I always ask the other person, Patrick, how high do you rate John Stones in the centre back chat? Because we're talking Diaz there, we're talking Ake, Laporte, Akanji. Like they've got some proper centre backs in their own club. Never mind some of us labeling him the best in the Premier League.
Yeah, no, I don't rate him. I'd swap him for Eric Dyer any day of the week.
Absolute liar. Absolute liar.
No, I'm playing. No, he's quality, man. He's so good. And the thing, I mean, I loved John Stones at Everton. I remember there was a moment at Everton where he kind of got the ball and he did a Cruyff turn, and the whole of the Everton Goodison Park was on him, and then he basically passed it 30 yards spot on a sixpence to somebody, and the crowd was on his back what are you doing? He's like, chill out. And he's about 18.
I remember that. That.
And I was like, this guy's got something. Do you remember? It's like, and it's crazy because literally they were pressing him and he was just so cool and calm.
Do you know what that's called? That's called ahead of the game.
Yeah,
you saw that, and that was years ago.
That was years ago. That's when even managers weren't really getting centre backs to play out. Now everyone tries to play out, and some of them it's detrimental because a lot of centre backs aren't ball playing centre backs, so they end up making mistakes. Yeah. That's a good one. You got me there. I can't say much about that, but yeah, no,
you got yourself. I could see you pausing. Yeah. You were thinking, shit, I know where this is going.
So he's good. And the thing is, City, even Ake is a very good player. City have a wealth of centre backs. It's just like Dap saying, because there's, for whatever reason, they can't get a consistent pairing. That has also been to their detriment, and a lot of people don't really talk about that, but it's true. If they had a consistent pairing, then that would obviously help. But yeah, the guy's good, man. He's really good, and I just like he's calm, he's cool, he's composed, a lot quicker than people think. Can read the game, and Grizz hasn't interrupted anyone, has he?
No.
I think that's Grizz.
No. Bilal knows what's coming. Bilal knows when I highlight these people, I'm about to gun them. But sorry, you continue.
Yeah. Threw me off because I was like, "What? What's he?"
No, minor.
He's sensational, man. He's good. Like Dap said, the only thing is sometimes he's out with niggles and knocks, which can be frustrating. Because sometimes they say the best ability is availability. So if he could get that pattern down, I don't know. Maybe if he needs to change his diet a bit, or maybe I don't know, stretch after games, or maybe I don't know what it is. But other than that, sensational, man. Very good player. Is he out for tomorrow's game then? Is that?
That's what I'm saying.
Sorry, can I just open you up to something that people don't speak about as well with our centre backs that is causing an issue, I think, and it hasn't been spoke about enough, right? Is if you go back to 2 seasons ago when Diaz first landed and Diaz and John Stones had a sensational season together, right? Now, Stones and Diaz are both right-sided centre backs, but because we weren't inverting our fullbacks, no problem, right? When you invert your left back, it means that on the left side of your defense, you have to have someone that is very comfortable with their left foot, right? That's why when Ake got injured, we went and got Akanji, because although Akanji's right-footed, it's known that he's good with his left foot. And this is why all of a sudden, certain partnerships you're finding, and everyone knows there's partnerships that work because someone's a leader, someone's a ball player, someone's just that old school defender. And I think that, for me, Akanji and Ake doesn't work as a pairing. But surprisingly, in the last derby, it was them that we played. So,
but this is what I mean. It's, as you said from the start, it's all about the selection, and we know Pep can over complicate things. I want to bring up sort of. In fact, Bill, I'll leave that actually, because I'm going to bring this up instead. By the way, because you said please at the end, and you put up the beg sign or the praise sign or the whatever sign. I ain't gonna gun you too much, but guess what? Guess whose channel this is? And you're fucking with the wrong breed if you're telling me to not interrupt and speak on my own channel and not call you out. So you already know to shut your mouth. That's what I'm gonna say. This is the last. What's it called?
No, my bad. I thought. Oh yeah, no, it's Laporte, Aki, and Akanji.
Yeah. So this no. This is sorry. This is the predicted lineup tomorrow. I need you guys to run your Man United and Man City brains through us and let us know if do you think there's going to be any changes to this? So we go with Man United first. Michael, how are you liking the setup of this? Because the question I want to ask you straight up. Shaw's been a revelation at centre back. What are you doing with that first?
Nah. Shaw's a fantastic center back, but I need my guy back on the left. He needs back to left back. I need my butcher back. That's what I need. The goalkeeper speaks for itself, David De Gea. My backup is Jack Butland, so let's be serious here. Varane, hopefully he doesn't go injured after 25 minutes again, like he did in the last derby. That'd be nice. Wan-Bissaka.
Streets are saying he did. Streets are saying
he don't.
He didn't want
it. He don't. Yeah, he don't want that smoke. I feel
in tears. I was thinking World Cup's gone. He just
very true.
Alive.
Very true.
Sometimes he saw Holland and he said, "Nah, not today. Let's not do this." But Wan-Bissaka, Dalot did get injured. He pulled a hamstring on Tuesday against Charlton, so I do have to see Wan-Bissaka. I have PTSD of Phil Foden absolutely treating him like a traffic cone last season. It was not good. Not good. Midfield. I don't want Eriksen playing tomorrow. No disrespect to Christian Eriksen. He's been really good this season. But
big call.
His feet are stuck in cement when he is runners, and on side of him is Kevin Bueno, who is one of the most dangerous players in world football. He could find a pass out of nothing, and if KDB sees Christian Eriksen, he's gonna look at him like barbecue chicken. He's gonna absolutely cook him. So I want Fred in there. I know Fred's a very controversial person amongst the Man United fan base, but one thing I know he'll give me, Patrick can attest to this, when we played them at Old Trafford, his pressing is absolutely phenomenal. He knows how to counter press, probably the best in Man United. That's the only reason he starts a spot in the team. Fred, every time Ten Hag talks about Fred, it's counter pressing. That's the only thing he talks about him.
That's why Pep wanted him.
Yeah. He's like counter pressing so good. So he could do like, if you guys remember the Andre Herrera versus Eden Hazard job where he's basically stuck on him. That's what I need Fred to do on KDB. Eriksen can't do that task. I know Eriksen on the ball is far levels ahead, but in this game, we're not going to have that much possession anyway. We're not going to be going 60-40 against City. It'll be more like 60-40 in their favor. So I want Fred. Old Trafford crowd's going to be buzzing, so you need as many legs and pressing as you could get. So I'd go that. The attack, Rashford obviously is a must starter. There's a guarantee.
So the streets are saying Martial's out. What do you do?
It's a mix. It's Ten Hag said that he's gonna see him tomorrow morning, see how he is. Like someone's saying that he hasn't been training all week. It's been mixed reports on it.
Nah. I'm telling you now, when
he probably won't play.
He needs to force it.
He doesn't need to force it. No. Yo, one thing I do not want to see is a Martial that's not 100% fit. That's even
bro. He's
worse.
Always injured, man. You got to play through it at this point.
Like, no, bro. This
guy's
gonna
going.
So look. Let's just think of the worst case scenario. He ain't playing. How are you dealing with this? Because the big man ain't registered in time. Yeah.
Yeah.
You've ordered a big meat feast as well to play up front.
Y'all really want to have
meat, bro? It's kind of there's this.
So what are you doing?
If
you ain't got him and you ain't got Martial, what's the options? Remind us.
Well, the option is Rashford up top. That's the main option. I didn't like the way he played in the reverse fixture against the derby. I'd rather him on the left because Rico Lewis, he's been sensational so far, but this is his first Manchester derby, and he's gonna go up against a red hot Marcus Rashford that's in the best form of his life. So you never know the pressure you get onto him. I know Daps is shaking his head because
don't worry about
so
that.
Mature.
Let you finish,
he's been so mature, but you never know. You never know what can happen. Early kickoff, anything can happen, and no offense to Rico Lewis, but he hasn't gone up against someone like Marcus Rashford. And when Marcus Rashford
in the form
this kind of form is pretty much in terms of wingers, there's not many better than him when he's in this form. And I think that could be a mismatch. But otherwise, even if it's Kyle Walker, I'm not scared of Kyle Walker in 2023. No disrespect to him. His legs are a little bit gone. So I want Rashford on the left because there's a mismatch there. on that shoulder of Khanage Lewis. There's going to be some gaps over there, and I want to attack those gaps. And I want Rashford on the left. But if you
what are you doing? But then what are you doing through the middle then if Martial's out? Because the other option I was suggesting, and some people are suggesting in the chat, is your boy Garnacho coming in on the left and putting Rashford in the middle. But that's like putting Garnacho, one youngster, up against another youngster, Lewis. That could be quite the fire matchup of the weekend.
It could be.
Rashford up front is not.
Mike was frozen, I think. Michael, you there?
I think I'm good now.
No, you're good. You're gone.
Good.
Yeah.
What do you think about that tactical genius suggestion from me?
Garnacho is good, but I really think he's been much better off the bench in his cameos. Like against the Fulham, like he came off the bench, he was fresh, direct. Against a City that would maybe be a little tired, him coming on fresh legs would be a much better option. But I guess if that has to come, Langa maybe. I don't want to watch that guy play. You know what? Throw Facundo
Langa through the middle.
No. I don't want to see Langa through the middle. I want to see Langa.
Stop trying to sabotage this shit. You stay out of this.
You should be on my side right here.
You
should be on my side.
I'm trying to help.
You should be on my side right here.
What are we saying?
Bruno's
honestly, right?
Nah, man, that's
You're saying he hasn't got the capacity. You're saying he hasn't got
we don't have the capacity.
The thing is, he tried that at Etihad and it backfired big time. That
was Rathball.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I beg your pardon. That was looking at your predicted lineup. Tell us if there's going to be any differences. Obviously, there's just a predicted lineup from a website.
Yeah. Well, firstly,
what do you think?
Say the most nervous point of tomorrow for any City fan, because I said it on my face-to-face with KG, that the thing I am scared of the most tomorrow is Pep Guardiola. Nothing to do with Man United. It's him, right? And it's his team selection. And everyone has agreed with me, every City fan, because we are waiting and we have after the last couple of games, none of us can call what this man is going to do at all, right? And it's got me to a point where I just have to revert back to often what I have to do as a City fan and say, do you know what? I've got to trust my manager, and that is all it can be. I was shaking my head earlier because for me, however good Rico Lewis has been, this is getting to the business end of the season. Yes, Walker's legs are going, but the one thing that Walker is a winner and a leader, right? And for that, at the moment, I feel like this team needs... I'm going to say it. I said it last year when we dropped points to Palace. I'm saying it right now. This Manchester City team needs its senior players to stand up, right? Our senior players are not old senior players, right? They need to stand up. And that is where I feel Walker needs to come in. And you know what? Garnacho and Rico Lewis could be a sensational battle. That's where I would play Walker because I think Walker could nullify it with his experience, right?
So what are you doing different? Just that one change, or are you seeing anything else tactically and personnel-wise different?
Look, sometimes when something's worked in the first fixture, you play it again. So for me, I would probably start with for the first, look, Michael said when United go a goal up, they don't lose the game. So for me, ball retention, I'd probably start with Grealish, Haaland, Foden.
Not Morris.
Oh. Mahrez on the bench.
Not Mahrez, but have Mahrez off the bench. Off the bench. The only other option, and this is right, we know he's going to start Haaland because Haaland's been rested the last two games. But I'm going to be honest. Steve and I were talking and saying, do you know what? Switch it up, right? There's no way that Ten Hag thinks this is going to happen. Imagine the team gets released and Alvarez is starting, no Haaland, right? Because when that game gets stretched in about the 60th minute and all of a sudden space appears, what a substitution to bring on Haaland. So I don't know. It depends how confident Pep is, but he's said he's got a plan. I think he's just bantering with the media, but they're the only ones I could maybe think of. Look, the Alvarez one I wouldn't be mad at. I'm going to be 100. I wouldn't be mad at it. So
you certainly would bring in Walker for Lewis.
Yeah.
The rest remain the same.
The midfield 100% because I think we need Bernardo's legs.
Of course. Yep. And the only thing that the only two things, one, you're looking at a shock Pep tactic, one of those ones where he brings in Alvarez and the world shock. Yeah. But then Bill, I was talking about the fluidity that you played with against Chelsea with that formation.
But
Alvarez, Foden, and Mahrez.
The only thing is,
I want to watch that. I want to tune into watch that.
we saw Haaland in the first game. Like, you got to remember, when Haaland arrived at City, when he got introduced to the fans, he said, I can't wait to play this team. And before the last
you
derby,
ain't keeping him
was
hungry.
saying, listen, if you've grown up and you've seen that your dad, who used to do what you love now, got retired by a player playing for this team, even if you know it's football and those things happen, there's going to be some animosity. We saw it in the first game, how eager Haaland was. So, look, it's a good problem to have, but I wouldn't put it past Pep as a surprise to just...
I have a question.
That's mad. But this is what makes it amazingly exciting, because you know Pep Guardiola in these games pretty much, or not pretty much, sometimes tends to go a bit, what's the word?
Mad. He's a mad scientist. He's a mad scientist.
Mad scientist ones, yeah.
It's mad, but at the same time, if you think about it, I spoke on it earlier that for so long, we have won the Manchester derby by being so dominant in the midfield. Like, it's been a proven success, right? For Pep and for City against Man United in particular, right? So if I'm Pep, I'm thinking, do you know what? The one team that I generally always do well against, really, and dominate the midfield against is Man United. So, do you know what? Let's just go back to basics, because our form's not great, and play with fucking a false nine.
We're gonna end the Man United derby segment with two things. Always do this one. Michael, I need you to name me one player that you wish doesn't play tomorrow for Man City.
For their team.
Yeah.
I mean, it has to be Haaland.
So not KD Bree, not Rodri, not anyone else. You're saying Haaland,
I have PTSD. I have PTSD of this guy scoring. And
fair enough.
Vab said it, bro. If Roy Keane is at the stadium tomorrow, long day. This guy's gonna go celebrate in front of Roy Keane if he scores tomorrow. Long day.
Daps, same question to you. You can pull out one player from Man United that don't play tomorrow.
So I think there's two obvious ones that everyone would think I'm going to say, right? Rashford or Casemiro.
You're going to do a Pep now, innit? Mad science.
No. So there's two obvious ones. It's Rashford or Casemiro, right? But by taking one of them out, I think you can take both of them out, because if we win the midfield battle, Rashford doesn't get much. So for me, I'd take out Casemiro all day long. I think that's the guaranteed we win the midfield battle.
Yeah.
I think that's a very and neutrals. If you guys could make this a balanced game, like which player from each team would you take out to say like that's their danger man? So Bilal, you pick Cities. Patrick, you pick United.
Patrick, want to go first?
Yeah, it'd be Rashford for me. He's in scintillating form. You've got to remember, this guy's a hometown hero. Grew up obviously supporting Manchester United. The derbies mean so much to him. You'd have to take him out, especially in the form he's in right now.
But Casemiro's so cold right
now.
I know.
Casemiro.
You can imagine taking out Casemiro and the whole house falling down.
Yeah,
it really would.
Bilal?
I think as rival fans, we have to do this as well. Because do you know what? When Casemiro arrived, there were 1-2 content creators. To be fair, I'm not going to call them out because they're content creators that I really admire and think are really good. But they were slyly trying to come for the signing of Casemiro, right? And way too quickly, like nowadays, TikTok and all that, it's changed the way we view footballers. They have no landing time. But Casemiro, right, I think he's the game changer for Man United, man, all 100%. Day long.
Yeah, listen, you can't talk down one of the most elite DMs of the last decade like that, man. You have to salute people like that.
Yeah, 100%.
Grizz knows what I say. He changed my life.
Michael says it. Michael says he changed his life. We got Michael Talks Football in the building, man. Massive Kvara fan. He obviously enjoyed tonight. He sends in a super chat and just says Kvara. I've got that one right. But Villa, who are you taking out?
For me, it has to be, I think, either one of Rodri or Bernardo, but I don't know which one I'd want to take out, because you'd want to just try and nullify that, the thing is with Bernardo Silva, the positions I see him pick up, the work rate he puts in, I think you take him out, I don't think you can replace him as easily as some of the other players, right, in that team. Can't. Even Gundogan, like if it got to the worst case scenario, Rodri's out, Gundogan could sort of do
They beat us last time like that. They beat us without Rodri.
So Yeah, so for me, I go Bernardo Silva. I'd take him out of that team.
See, for me, I can't speak high. I just bigged up Casemiro. But if you ask me to pick one DM in world football right now, you already guys know my theory. We had this chat a couple of weeks back, didn't we? Rodri is a monster, he's a machine, he's everything. He's tenacious, he's a winner, he's a leader, he's strong, he can play as well, and he's got that nastiness in him as well. I'm telling you now, Man City without Rodri, they're not the same at all. Just like Casemiro. But I get the Bernardo Silva
Rodri,
chat.
I'm telling you, Rodri played for my team. Guy's seeing hella red cards. Some of the things he does. He gets away with a lot of things. A lot of yellow. Even Fernandinho, well, they're smart at it. They always do it.
But check this out.
Rodri has learned. I like that he's learned off
But guys, I was going to say, check this out. Even as an opposition fan, we hate that and everything. I admire that shit, you know.
Yeah. It's
Casemiro has it.
Casemiro has it. Højbjerg has it. Fabinho used to have it. Fabinho used to have it before he started doing Uber on the weekends.
Bro, it's special. Oh, listen. It is that is one of the best things.
It's a skill.
Bro, it's one of the best things that Fernandinho brought to this club. And I once watched him with Bernardo Silva, early days Bernardo Silva, trying to chase a man down. I think it was against Liverpool. He's trying to chase a man down just into our half, right? And Bernardo Silva's trying to catch up with the guy, trying to catch up. And the guy's getting further and further into our half. Fernandinho appeared out of nowhere, ran along and just grabbed the guy and pulled him down, right? And took a yellow. And as he walked off, he looked at Bernardo Silva and started just pulling Bernardo Silva's shirt. And it's like saying, don't let them get to a position where you have to commit a foul where the free kick is. But can I just say one thing? And this tomorrow, the person we need to have a massive game, not just for tomorrow, but for the rest of the season. Because for me, we've just been waxing lyrical on him. He's my favourite City player, or has been. So important to us, been sensational through the fact we know he wants to leave. But recently, his form has looked a bit, and without him, I think it makes us winning the league very difficult, is Bernardo Silva, because his form hasn't been great. If he can step up tomorrow and give us a couple more months, bro, City, let him go for 30 million, whatever. Just Bernardo, give us one last hurrah, please, brother. Get us one more league, and then we will let you go for minimal money, because you have served us sensationally.
It's always the memory that you leave. I know exactly what you mean. We've got a few players like that in I think that we're saying, give us another 3-4 months and then you can go. Listen,
go on a free, bro. Thank you for your service. Salute you.
Absolutely. Daps, I know you need to go, so I don't really do predictions. What I'm going to ask you for is a North London, because obviously, I'm not asking you for a prediction for Manchester City. Of course, you're going to say win. So I want you, before you go, to give me a prediction for the North London derby, and then we're going to segue into that.
Honest?
You can lie if you want. No, you can lie if you want.
I mean, all right, so I won't be honest. Let me be clear. I'm not being honest on what I think will happen.
Obviously, what you want, is different. No. Tell me your footballing brain. What's your footballing
firstly,
brain
I'm pretty certain that tomorrow, it's written in the stars, Harry Kane breaks the record for most goals for Tottenham. I think Harry Kane gets 2. It's written in the stars, man. It's against Arsenal, to break that record would just be written in the stars. However, I can't see anything but an Arsenal win. I think Arsenal are just showing. Sorry, bro. I want to say otherwise, but it's just
not our ground. Nah,
Patrick.
They won in like 15 years. Like no.
I hear you, bro. I hear you. But let me say why. Right, when we dropped points to Everton, I was walking back from the City ground to my hotel, and before I'd even got back to my hotel, I looked at my phone. And Saka had scored against Brighton. I think it was against Brighton. Yeah, it was, right? Within 5-10 minutes of the start, right? Now, that is the form that seasoned Premier League winners show, City, when we have to play after the other team have played. To go and score early just to take all that stress off. And I looked at Imran, who I was with, and I was like, how are these guys that have never been in a title race doing it? And I just feel like every hurdle that is put in front of this Arsenal team, look, they're going to drop. I truly believe it, but I just think it's not going to be till later in the season. We're
not dropping, number one. And Patrick, man, we beat you. Come on, remember Rosicky, White Hart
Lane? Yeah, how long?
It was only 2014. It was only 2014.
Arteta was playing in in that game.
But it was a while ago. But it was not 15 years.
Jesus
Listen,
Christ.
we'll get into the Arsenal Tottenham.
Yeah, we're gonna get into the Arsenal chat. Daps, what was your last prediction? What was your final prediction for the North London derby?
3-2 Arsenal.
Whoa, wild game, yeah.
Because I really think I think Arsenal were going to win. I would have gone with the lesser score, but I honestly think, it's written in the stars for Kane to break that record tomorrow. I think it's just written in the stars, man.
Wow. If it's 3-2, we're in for a super duper Sunday. Because
let's get Saturday out of the way first.
Yeah, exactly. We got hella games. Daps. I know you've had a long day. Thank you very much for popping in, man.
Bless you,
thanks for having me, man. It really, Grizz, I know I messaged you, but honestly, obviously, when you see content creators on stuff like Big Six and a few other of those channels, like we touched on it, we have to be different personalities because you have to go in there with big chest because you're coming up against people that you know are coming.
Go guns blazing,
bro! It's and no one will ever understand you. It's hard work. Like I finished a watch long 5 minutes before Big Six Extra, and I realised that I'm having to go and face a man with a soundboard. It is long, bro. It's very fucking long. But listen, people, I'm telling you, go and check out DR Sports. Me and KG did a face-to-face, and tell me I didn't get revenge, right? Tell me I did not get revenge. He didn't have no soundboard, so it's a bit different, right?
Different.
But Grizz, I was just going to say, your hosting is top tier, man. So it's...
Yeah,
and
go on.
Great
I'm
panel.
practicing,
But listen,
bro. I'm practicing.
Go easy on me if we don't, but get all 3 points. But I'm confident that we remind them once again that Manchester is blue.
I think I'm actually backing you lot this weekend. It's mad. Life's different, bro. Life's different right now. That's what I keep saying. Life's different. Daps, big up yourself. Nice
I'm
one.
backing Tottenham, by the way, as well. I want Tottenham to win. Let me be clear.
We're going to get into North London.
And please, everyone, actually, one last thing. Smash the like button. Get the likes up, man. This guy's giving you good content, so please just smash the like. And everyone have a good weekend. Healthy, happy, productive.
Respect. Nice one. Big up yourself. He's right, man. There's like 450 of you in here, man, and the likes are feeble. But listen,
smash the like.
Yeah, man. But listen, guys, that's the Manchester derby out of the way. I think it's going to be wild. I'm not going to lie to you. I think it's going to be mad. I think it's going to be wild. I think the North London derby is going to be a sizzler. I'm going to come to you, Bilal, first. Tell me how you feel. Because, again, very much like... No, it's the opposite of the Manchester derby because the home team just wins in this fixture. Yeah. Whoever's home wins. Don't care about the form. Don't care about the injuries, suspensions. The home team wins. But different. How you feel tomorrow?
Yeah.
How you feel?
I'm feel for Sunday evening. Yeah, I'm feel for this one.
Sunday. Yeah.
Yeah. In recent years, going obviously away to Tottenham. We'll start with the home games. Arsenal, Tottenham home games. For me, that's probably like the most obvious result of the season, where Arsenal just turn up at home, win against Tottenham at home. Fair enough. I think it's one of those ones. Just happens. But going away to Tottenham hasn't been easy, right? Since 2014. As we just touched on, Arsenal haven't got a win there. We've got a few draws in that time, but haven't been able to win. And then last year's defeat, right? I know the red card to Holding, and obviously it's Rob Holding playing and all of that, but that was a painful one. And I know it was just Champions League. At the end of the day, it wasn't that, in the grand scheme of things, not a big deal, right? Mm-hmm. But that was a painful defeat because I've not really experienced that kind of level of battering by Tottenham, maybe since the League Cup, I think 2008, was it semi-finals? 5-1.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, I haven't experienced that, and I've grew up, to be honest, my life growing up, Arsenal didn't lose to Tottenham for 10 years. It's just one of those games that Arsenal either win, or if you go away, you draw, and it's one of those ones. But watching Tottenham over the last 10 years and the way that club has developed has been very impressive. I'm not going to lie, even as an Arsenal fan, seeing the way that they've been doing things has been impressive. But also, I've always been thinking, come on, Arsenal, when are we going to stand up and finally, just end this Tottenham golden era or period that they're in? So yeah, I'm hoping that we get that first win Sunday evening against Tottenham in their new stadium, new shiny stadium, get that win there, and then this new Arsenal era begins. That's what I'm hoping.
Again, before we get into the Patrick version of Event Spurs, we're going to go for the neutral, maybe not neutral. So first, how you feel about this fixture, Michael, as a Man United fan? I don't know where your loyalties will lie, I guess, because it's a tricky one for you guys, right? What are you saying?
Honestly, it all depends on the result tomorrow. To be honest with you, like if we beat City, then I kind of want Arsenal to drop points because we got them next week, and if we beat them, then things are percolating. But
okay, so take the biasness and what you want. Talk to me from a footballer, from a purist point of view. How are you seeing this matchup?
It's interesting, because like obviously Patrick says like Arsenal haven't beaten Spurs at their ground in a minute, but also it's vice versa. Spurs don't beat Arsenal at the Emirates. It's like a long day for them, even when they suck. So I do think the Spurs are going to be up for it. I think it's been a little rocky with them, but Dab said it. Harry Kane's going for that record, and he wants that record really bad. Kulusevski's back, and I really rate Kulusevski very, very highly. So I think he's going to be a little problem maybe for Zinchenko, Tierney, and them guys. Especially Tierney. Tierney don't want to see Kulusevski, that's for sure. Is Bentancur back?
He's back. He's been training. I don't think he's gonna start, but he's a great option to have.
Honestly, if Conte tricks me, surprises me, he starts like a Pape Matar Sarr, because I really rate that guy. Put some physicality in there. It's a derby. You need your big guys in there. You don't need no Oliver Skip, that's for sure. Put your big guys in there and go to war. I think Spurs could get something out of it. I rate Antonio Conte very highly. I will always back him to, like, if things are going tough, I think he get a result. And you never know. Arsenal been going breaching violations. Their heads are a little rattled. Maybe Spurs can rattle it just a little bit more. So I think it's going to be a really, really fun game.
Patrick, Michael describes it as a fun game. I already know Spurs and Arsenal fans don't look at this like a fun game. It's torture. It's an ordeal. It's like one of those ones you wish you could just know this. Like, you wish you could just play it through like a computer or something and just find out the result at the end. Because when you win, oh my days, there's no better feeling. Okay, apart from children's births, right? I don't think there's anything else that tops that feeling. But when you lose, Lord have upon mercy on anyone that's close to you for about 2 meters.
Grizz, to put it into context, first day of this new year, Aston Villa at home, we lost. My phone went crazy, like literally everyone popping out of the woodworks. Tottenham losing at home to Aston Villa. Put a tweet out saying Levy out. It banged. Everyone retweeting it, laughing at it. Imagine if we lose to Arsenal, I'm finished. I can't, I'm on so many shows. Yeah, it's going to be a long week for me, and it's crazy. We're at home. The thing is, it's such an exciting game because, the North London derby is already super exciting. For me, it's the best derby out there. Even like Michael said, it's going to be fun. I get why he's saying it because it's the spiciest and best derby in terms 100%. Of how, but for us living in the moment, from about 12 o'clock onwards, the nerves set in. Then obviously your palms get sweaty as you're walking through the stadium up to the ground, and it's just you're a bag of nerves, man. You're excited but you're nervous, and it's that horrible feeling. And when the referee blows for the kickoff, your gut is in your stomach is just, it's horrible, man. But then you obviously have to just enjoy it and just hopefully your team doesn't let you down. And we just need to play. We've been up and down. Our form's been stinking. It's a weird one because as bad as we've been, we've still scored the third most amount of goals. We've got the fourth most amount of wins. Harry Kane's got 15 goals in 18 games. He's in the best form of his life, statistically. But when you look at it in terms of how we're playing, and there's a lot of conundrums, and Conte, for me, is still making silly mistakes, like starting Emerson Royale week after week after week. Like, he's so stubborn. The obvious is staring him in his face, and he just doesn't want to change it. Then obviously starting Skip over Sarr has been weird. Not giving Jed Spencer run out has been weird. But with all that being said, we're still only 2 points behind Newcastle, who have been bigged up and having an amazing season. 2 points behind Man United, who are having a great. So it's so weird. This season's so weird. But yeah, man. Arsenal is not the same Arsenal. I just got to be real. Like, this is a different Arsenal this time around. They seem to have matured a lot. They're playing good football. They're definitely the best team in the league right now. Just got to be honest. But they haven't come to the top. Well, every time they've come to the Tottenham Stadium, they've been humbled or leveled. So us as fans have got to get behind the team and give it our all. We've been given some good news regarding Bentancur, Kulu, and even Richarlison trained. It might be a bit too early, so we're coming back with 3. So there's real good news and a feel-good factor around the camp. Battering Crystal Palace was good. I know it's only Crystal Palace, but a lot of people wrote us off for that game. Selhurst Park away, in the form that we were in, they said it'd be a tough game. Got 4 good goals in the second half. So at least we have a bit of confidence. So, yeah, I'm always going to back Tottenham, my team, at home to Arsenal. But I'm not gonna lie, this is a different Arsenal, so it's gonna be sticky.
You know what? I'm going to stick with you and ask your opinion on Antonio Conte. So I'm one of these people that I said that it's the best signing Spurs have made in recent times.
Yeah.
Player-wise, coach-wise, whatever-wise, yeah. It's the best signing they could have made, because you're not going to get, with all due respect to Tottenham Hotspur, you're not going to get a higher level caliber coach than Antonio Conte, in terms of what he's done, in terms of his standing in the game, and in terms of his sheer winning mentality.
Yeah.
But there's always a but with Antonio Conte. If you hire him, you got to be ready to back him, because you don't bring in Antonio Conte to coach next man's players. He hates that. He knows what he wants. He knows what he needs to win, and he'll guarantee you a win almost, if you know what I mean, like bring you back to the top, but give me what I want. How do you see that relationship right now with Conte and your owners? Because it's a bit rocky, and that affects your players as well. Like, so for example, we're hearing Kane ain't signing that extension until he knows what's going on with Conte, and Conte wants to know what's going on in the summer before he commits, and he wants to know if he's got 150, 200 million to spend, which we know Levy ain't gonna do, or is he?
Yeah, Grizz, you're spitting, and I agree. Getting Conte right now was such a cue, because essentially, you know, that El Sacco between Man United and Tottenham, when it was Nuno versus Oli, and luckily they beat us, so we lost the battle but won the war, because then whoever basically lost that game was going to sack their manager. We sacked Nuno, moved for Conte. To get in Conte, a manager his ilk, his stature, and also not on the downside or the wane of his career like Mourinho was. It was fantastic. He then got us into fourth, amazing. He brought in two players that he wanted to, in Kulu and Bentancur, two players that a lot of the Tottenham fan base scoffed at when we were linked to them. No one really saw them or saw what was going on. Fantastic. Revitalised our season. Brought in players in the summer, some good, some not, some still need time, like Basuma. But to be fair, when you bring in Antonio Conte, like you said, Grizz, you've got to back him. You've got to allow him to see out his vision. You've got to allow him to bring in the players that he wants. When you're still having players like Emerson Royale, Doherty, Eric Dyer, and the guys clearly said he needs much better players in those positions, it doesn't make sense. And to be fair, I've always been Levy out for the longest time, because I don't like the way he operates. I don't like how he runs the club. I don't like how he's a chairman. He wants to be at the forefront of everything. Even when we weren't good, this guy was always about Levy. He always wanted to be the center of attention, always wanted to be just doing too much. But I've never seen the fans throw Levy out as much as they are now. Obviously, when we lost to Aston Villa, the whole stadium was screaming, "We want Levy out." 3-0 up, 4-0 up. Away Selhurst Park against Crystal Palace, and the fans are screaming, "We want Levy out." So it's not budging. It's not just when we lose now, even when we win, because they've seen Antonio Conte stick it on Levy, and Levy's not budging. 2 weeks in, Pedro Porro, our first choice right wing back, fantastic
target.
Player. 45 million. 40 million. That's not that expensive right now in this market. Fantastic player. We've seen him against us in the Champions League. He's sensational. It's not that much to trigger his release clause. He wants to come to us. We just keep making excuses. There's always an excuse. There's always an excuse with Daniel Levy, and we've had enough. And yeah, the fans aren't happy. And obviously, if he lets Conte walk without backing him, I don't know where he goes from now, because he's pulled the wool over a lot of people's eyes. Bringing in, like Pochettino was sensational, but he locked up with Pochettino. Pochettino was a project manager who literally was on an upwards trajectory. Harry Kane was literally there. Sonny, second season, then started to, Poch got lucky. The timing was fantastic. Wasn't back for 2 windows. I was moving to a new stadium. In the long run, that caught up with us, but Poch still managed to get a second and third on a shoestring budget, which was amazing. Then he brought in Jose. And it was the decline or wane of Jose's career, but a lot of fans who had never seen a manager of that stature at Tottenham, we were starstruck. And we was like, you know what, Jose always wins trophies. Let's give it a go. Didn't work. Obviously, Nuno, fuck knows what was going on there. But now we've got in Conte. If you don't back him right now, It's gonna be.
It was a waste of an appointment. It was a waste of an appointment,
and it's a waste of Kane's golden, prime. It's a waste of Son's prime. It's a waste of, like, it's just too much. So yeah, for me, you're right, Grizz. If he doesn't back him, it was a pointless appointment.
On that, quickly. Oh, go on. Yeah, just read that.
No, go on.
No, I was going to quick super chat before we come. I know what you're going to say. Yeah. North London, Lacassis 07. Send the super chat. Says North London Spurs fan needs to remember there was no Cedric, Tomiyasu, Holding, and Elneny starts for this one. This smells different. Bilal, finish what you was going to say, and does it smell different for you?
Yeah, no, I was just going to ask Patrick, because on the Tottenham front, even the Tottenham fans around me, I've been seeing, it's like a little bit 50-50 in a way. I've seen some Tottenham fans say they're not happy with Conte's football, which is fair enough. They want maybe a bit more progressive style that they used to. But also, on the whole, like, Levy's not backing Conte. I know with the ownership, it's the ENIC guys, right?
Yeah,
they're the money men.
Yeah.
Levy's not the money man, is he? He's just a guy maybe doing the day-to-day operations. But I'm not too sure how it all... Like,
day-to-day, but
works.
He's got a stake in the company as well. And he is also employed by ENIC. So it goes hand in hand. So it goes hand in hand, but so he is essentially the guy. I mean, this guy, don't forget, is the highest paid chairman in the Premier League, and it begs to differ why he's paid that much when essentially we've not been that successful in terms of winning trophies, which is what it's all about. Yes, he has elevated the club. Yes, we are now in a different stratosphere. We're now considered one of the top 6 clubs over the last 5 years. He's got us in the Champions League 5 times, which is good. But when we want to take that next step, we're not taking it.
Yeah, no, I understand that frustration. That's always frustrating as a fan when you're seeing your club just being stagnant. But from the outside looking in as an Arsenal fan, there was a time where, like, the likes of Tottenham, Everton, Aston Villa were all sort of on the same level, but Tottenham's really just gone clear of all of them clubs and just ended up holding this position where at one point, even now maybe, like, they get more revenue than Arsenal. So you can see that they have, and the stadium that's been built, you can see a training ground, you can see what they've done outside the pitch, but I know the fans obviously don't care about that much.
Yeah,
they want to see what's on the pitch.
We cared to a degree, and it was all good when we was we're the lowest net spenders and look how successful we are and this and that. But when it doesn't translate into trophies, which essentially was what it's all about, it gets to a level where you can't keep using that excuse. Yeah, you run the club fantastically, you're a brilliant checkbook or spreadsheet manager, Excel, Microsoft Excel, your gold star and all of that, but we want to see success on the pitch. We don't always want to be the bridesmaids, we're always the nearly men. We're always so close, but yet so far. So you're right. There was a point when Aston Villa, Everton, they were all considered very equal to us, and and we luckily took that next step up. But we're kind of staying stagnant. Arsenal are progressing. Newcastle now look good. Man United are turning the corner. Liverpool, obviously, they're not there at the moment, but they will be there or thereabouts again. Chelsea will continue to spend, so they're bounce back. So we need to also push forward.
Bruh, the way Chelsea are spending, bruv, they could be another Leeds. That's what I'm saying, bruv.
Yeah, it's a mad one because they keep spending. Yeah, I don't know. It's a mad,
bruv, it ain't easy. Bilal, you had something for me in the background you was going to bring up.
Yeah, so we've got here, I believe, predicted lineups for tomorrow. We can see the Tottenham 11 here.
So you go first. Sunday.
Oh yeah, Sunday. We keep saying tomorrow, but yeah, Sunday. Exactly. Yeah,
Wait, hold on. Is it past? No, it's not. But going through your lineup, Bilal. Same question I asked Daps and Michael for their lineups. Yeah. Yours is pretty much nailed on, right? We already know.
That's the team. Even against Tottenham last derby, 3-1 win at the Emirates, Jesus was starting into the Nketiah. But of course, Jesus is injured. And Nketiah, your defense is in trouble. Nketiah's in the room. He's been getting in the goals. So, yeah, he's going to start up front. Come on, man. We've got to respect Eddie Nketiah, man. My guy. See the work he's been doing, developing. Listen, I said it, man. I told who did I say it to? I said Nunes. Nah, I said Nketiah. It's better than Nunes.
Nah, you know what? He's been good.
That's not hard.
Yeah, exactly. But he's been good. You got to give him his credit.
Got to get Grizz involved somehow, man. Come on.
He doesn't scare me. I'm not going to look at him and be scared. So
Yeah, no. Listen. Of course, you've got Harry Kane up front. But for me, honestly, right, I haven't even done normally we do combined 11s before the games, and right. But for me, apart from Kane, I don't know who I'm taking at that Tottenham team and putting into the Arsenal team. There was a time a few years ago, you asked me the likes of Eriksen and Son and all of these sort of players, Alderweireld, Vertonghen. There was a time where I'll probably take a lot of Tottenham players, Kyle Walker. Now, I look at it, to be honest, right now, look at Tottenham's team, and this is where maybe Conte, and this is where maybe the frustration now with the board, I understand from the Tottenham fans, is that the team itself maybe isn't the best team that they've been used to in recent years. But yeah, you look at for your team now with Bissouma, do you think he's going to play this game?
This is it. So your team, I think the beauty of your team, Bilal, is the stability. You already know your strong lineup. They know their roles. They know their formation. Everything is.
And that's why Grizz. I don't understand people saying Arsenal are going to fall off this season. Clearly, Arsenal not going to fall off, and the reason for that is everyone knows what they're doing. When you know what you're doing, it's like clockwork. We saw it with the Liverpool team.
Unless
football doesn't go like that, though. Football
no. And injuries. That's it. Unless there's injuries.
Oh yeah, no, of course, injuries.
Pressure.
That can happen. That can happen. I think honestly, I think now in totality and looking back at it, I think what happened last season, going to Newcastle away, going to Tottenham, losing those games has really helped this young group. And then you add that into the experience that's come in with the likes of Zinchenko and Jesus and these players all developing a year older, Saka going to the World Cup, Martinelli going to the World Cup. I think these players have learned, you suffer that big defeat, you don't want to feel that pain again. So I think they've learned from a lot of the lessons from last season, and the stability of the team is good. And of course, we talk about injuries. It seems like we're making a new signing with my guy Mudryk. Hopefully he comes in soon. So we're trying to already prepare. Jesus will come back into this team in a couple of weeks, hopefully. And yeah, I think, to be honest, right, I don't see us tailing off unless, and there's one position we haven't talked about, and that's the midfield. Obviously, Thomas Partey, if he somehow picks up a knock and he's out for a long while, I wouldn't say maybe a few games, but if he's out for a long while, that could definitely affect our season. But apart from that, to be honest, man, I'm happy with our team.
Patrick, looking at your lineup, players we got there, tell us, is there anything different that is going to happen, in your opinion, to that lineup? Talk to us.
At the moment, I would probably say that's spot on. Lloris, Romero, Dyer, Lenglet. Yeah, some people would put Ben Davis in the Lenglet position as the LCB, so the third centre back in the back three. But Lenglet is definitely a better player. Lenglet all day long. I think he's quietly had a very good season for us. He came in, not much fanfare. Not many people were interested in the signing. On loan from Barcelona, where he'd not been doing that well. But the guy's actually a good player. Very good on the ball, can pass. Very good at pushing the ball forward. He's been good for us in a kamikaze defensive shambolic season. He's actually been one of our shining lights. Doherty definitely over that.
You don't need to say his name. You don't need to say his name. Yeah. I want to keep you happy and smiling.
Basuma, of course. Basuma is an interesting one because we all know the guy's talented. He hasn't come in and basically been as good as we all thought he would, but sometimes signings need time and rhythm and games. Obviously, Bentancur would start all day over him, but Bentancur's probably a game or two too early, so I keep that. Højbjerg has been sensational for us, really good player. Perisic, definitely. It's funny because when Arsenal fans keep going on about their predicted lineups and only Kane gets in, I'm thinking, have they not watched Perisic? The guy's been sensational up and down that left side, handed side. 5 assists already this season, which is the most from the fullback area. Creates a lot of goal scoring.
Again, I'm not going to let the Tottenham fan big up Tottenham about combine and leave Arsenal. We got Michael to make the casting vote in that in 2 seconds.
Yeah, cool. Go on, Patrick. Cooley speaks for himself. Sensational player.
So he's fit. Do you reckon he's gonna?
He's fit. He's been training all week. They said he's good to go. Essentially, he's going to start. Kane, obviously, he speaks for himself. And Son's been a disappointment this year, but we all know that guy on his day is still scary. The fact that he got a goal in the last game, hopefully that gives him a bit of confidence going into this. So, yeah, that team is pretty much bang on, in my opinion.
So the only one that we were talking about, Bentancur, is unsure. So we're not sure
Bentancur's probably too early. He'll be on the bench, but I don't think he's going to start. You never know. Conte might switch up and put him in, but I just think it's probably a game too early, especially the magnitude of the game.
Michael, you have Bentancur to choose from as well. I need you to pick me a very quick combined 11 in your humble opinion. And we're talking all of them players at their best, not right now, not form, none of that business, at the peak of their careers.
Right now, okay. So
used to hush up. You can't argue. Simple.
Wait, so this is based on form, or this is based on form?
No, at their best.
Yo, man. What time is it out in California, USA, in Las Vegas, New York?
Michael, don't fall for the traps. Don't fall for the traps, man. Do it your way, man.
Don't try to sabotage this shit. Listen, Michael, at the peak of their ability, all of them, at the peak of their ability.
At their best version, I'll take Lloris in goal. No disrespect to Ramsey. He's still a young guy in this industry. I'm gonna go 2 center backs. I'll go Romero, even though I'm not his biggest fan, but I still think he's better. And I'll go Saliba. I think Young G. I'll go Ben White at right back because Spurs are not offering any right back to the table here. So no disrespect. And at left back, Perisic is not a left back for me, so I'm gonna go Zinchenko because Perisic is higher up. Midfield, number 5 at DM. I'll go Bentancur at left center mid, and I'll go Odegaard.
Who's number 5?
Party. I just say number 5.
Sorry, I don't follow these clubs like that. Sorry.
Yeah, I just say number 5. I'll go Bentancur on the left. I really rate him. I think Patrick's right. A lot of Spurs fans were not familiar with his game, but I really thought he was good at Juve until Allegri, all them guys started getting involved. But he's a really good player.
Yeah, finished football.
So Bentancur, and I'll go Odegaard on the right. He's arguably been the best midfielder in the Prem this season, just like in terms of form, just one player of the month. So I was not familiar with his game. He's living up to that Wonder Boy status from when he was 16 years old.
He's been good. He's been good.
And up top, on the left, at their peak, I gotta go Perisic. At their peak, I gotta go Perisic because Ivan Perisic, cold guy. When you need him at the most, this guy will step up. The shines are not too bright for him. He will step up no matter what. Up top, obviously, Harry Kane. That's not even a question. This is arguably top 5 Premier League striker of all time. He's gonna come to Old Trafford this summer and see what a trophy is like.
Chill.
He's gonna get these. That's what's gonna happen. And then on the right, it's just tough because I'm one of the Kulusevski's biggest fans. I really rate him. But Bukayo Saka, he really won me over at this World Cup. He saw France and he looked at France in the eyes and he said, "I'm ready for this." And he was England's best player and he won me over. He said that I'm this guy. And honestly, he's one of the best under 21s. I think he's also under 21 in world football. And he's going to be a wonderful player. So I'll go with Saka on the right. But Kulusevski, this close. I really rate this guy. I would take him at Man United in a heartbeat. I'll dash number 21 average, and I'll bring in the other number 21. But
I'm only gonna argue. I'm gonna only argue one person's case with you. And again, you can give your opinions, but we ain't having it. But Michael, Son.
Nah. It's purple patch guy. No. I'm taking Ivan Perisic.
Shit.
No way. Yeah.
I'm taking. Nah, you gotta prove it. But I really rate Ivan Perisic. Like maybe it's like the trophy bias coming into me or something. But I've seen Ivan Perisic when the lights are brightest. Like I remember Croatia Euro 2016 against Spain to win that group. He showed up.
No, I'm feeling that. He scored
in a World Cup final in 2018. Like this guy he knows how to win. And Son, maybe he's like the last. Maybe recent form came into this because I think he's been so bad this season. Like last season he won the Golden Boot, and this guy has only scored in 2 games this season. He has 4 goals and he scored only in 2 games. So maybe that's kicking in. But Perisic is my guy.
We're gonna wrap this up with the same question. Bilal, you're allowed to take out. I think it's probably the easiest question for you. Yeah. You're allowed to take out one of their players. Take him out tomorrow. He's got food poisoning suddenly. Who is it?
Lasagna Gate. We're bringing it back for Harry Kane, man, because this guy is guaranteed a penalty. I don't think he's got an open play goal against Arsenal like the last 10 games.
A penalty.
He's guaranteed one. That's why. Listen, when we got to the predictions, I'll explain my predictions with that in mind as well. Because Harry Kane, definitely, I'm expecting him 36-minute penalty somehow. That's what I'm expecting.
You have to hold that.
Yeah. No, just listen. I go into that game already like 1-0 down. And we just go from there. But honestly, for me, it's got to be Harry Kane. There's no other player in that team who changes Tottenham in an instant, dropping deep sometimes in the box. His header, was it against Brentford the other day? Like, he's too much. And this could be, in my opinion, probably his last season at Tottenham. I don't know what you think, Patrick, because I think regardless, with 1 year left on his deal, Man United, if they get top 4, you never know. Bayern Munich might come knocking. Yeah. But yeah, Harry Kane.
Come to the dark side. Come to the dark side.
Patrick, who are you taking out?
For me, there's 2 very, very close choices. Well, actually, there'd probably be 3. But I'm going to stick to the 2 that came to mind straight away. Saka, because he's been sensational on that right-hand side. I was someone that questioned Saka because Arsenal fans kept calling him the best young player in England and Europe and this and that. And I was like, Foden exists. But this season, he's been better than Foden, comfortably. So I give him that. He stepped up. His decision-making for me was always a bit sketchy in the final third. But this year, he seems to be making the right choices at the right time. The guy's strong as an ox as well. You can't get the ball off him unless you foul him. Amazing player. I've just got to give it to him. And obviously, Thomas Partey in that middle, the way he makes the ball, them tick, the way he moves the ball around, passes, doesn't always do them extravagant and stylish thing, but he just keeps them ticking. So either 2 of those I had to pick, I'll probably say Saka because he probably hurt. Yeah, he might hurt us the most in terms of goals and assists in the game. So yeah, Saka. I'll take out Saka.
You take out Saka, yeah?
Yeah.
Wow. Michael, who would you take out for both teams? If you was a Spurs fan, who would you take out from the Arsenal team? Like,
It has
biggest threat?
to be Odegaard for me. This guy is basically the he's a quarterback of the Arsenal team at the moment. So I think you gotta take him.
And Kane is simple, isn't it? Kane's straight choice.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, man. This is this tomorrow, prediction wise, man. This is hard to call because this is the most
Sunday
confident...
evening.
Sunday
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow
eagerness. The eagerness.
Can't wait.
Yeah, I can't wait for this one. I'm telling you, even this one is going to be a humdinger of a game. Like, there's a few games that we even discussed that are going to be. I think Newcastle, Fulham's going to be tasty.
Yeah, that's a good
Chelsea
game.
Palace. Did you see what Ian Wright said with Patrick Vieira? They're watching the
game
game together. And, they were watching João Felix. Oh, this kid looking very good. They're eulogizing about him. Gets a red card. Patrick Vieira stands up, goes to the kitchen, and he's just happy, right? Because obviously Palace are playing, I believe, Chelsea next. So he's going to be out for that game, yeah.
Yeah, 3 games. He's out.
I'm telling you, man, that's going to be... Like, I've totally slipped my mind, but Mitrovic used to play for Newcastle, remember? So Newcastle, Fulham, and he's back, and he's back from suspension. That's going to be a tasty affair. I could see a red card in that game. I'm not going to lie. I could see a red card in your game as well, man. And
bring Davinson Sanchez, bro. Where's he?
No,
we don't. I love that guy. I love that. He's my favorite Tottenham player of all time, man. Just
all jokes aside, I want this game to be decided on football with footballing reasons only. I don't want to know no dodgy VARs, no red cards, no dodgy penalties. I want the football to do the talking, and then whoever wins it. Fair play. Do you know what I mean?
This is gonna be. I'm jacked for this game. I'm not gonna lie, man. This weekend of football, I told you, it's gonna make me feel better again. I've had a rough month. I'm not gonna lie.
Matoma got something cooking tomorrow. Don't worry.
Yeah, man.
Is McAllister back? McAllister, Caicedo.
Yeah, let me bring.
Trossard's out though. We know that.
Let me bring 3 players in my FPL team. Brighton. You know what I mean? Can I?
No, you've missed the deadline, man.
You missed the deadline.
Villa Leeds just played
because Leeds and Thingy played. You missed the deadline, bro.
I would have broke the rules. Anyway.
He was about to bring that Ferguson kid in.
I'm triple captaining all 3 of them. Like, come on, man. I'm Grizz Khan, man.
Liverpool got something for you, man. Come.
Nah. Listen, tomorrow. Listen, Liverpool. Stop, man. I'm smiling. You don't want to distress and pain me, man. We talk about Manchester derby. We talk about Arsenal derby. Let's keep it exciting and top of the table clashes galore tomorrow and Sunday. I think tomorrow I'm going to finish off with my prediction. I think tomorrow is going to end up a draw. I said 1-1. I think that's what it's going to be. I think it's going to be fire and brimstone, though. It's going to be mad. And I think Man City will control the game. I think Man City will control the game. I think Man United might take an early lead. Man City are going to peg them back. And in the North London derby, I can't be a pussy and sit on the fence twice, man. I can't go for 2 draws, even though I think it's going to be a draw. I think Arsenal are going to do it, man. I think this is going to be the. I think this is going to be the one derby. I think Arsenal. It's going to be like a 2-1 or even a 1-0. It's not going to be 1-0. I'm going 1-0. People are thinking end-to-end 3-2 daps it, innit? No, none of that.
That's the last time we won when it was what their stadium was 1-0. So
it was 1-0 business.
Yeah,
1-0 business, and I'm excited. People, listen, it's been amazing, man. I've really enjoyed the chat, man. As I said, it's good to talk football, and we don't need to, you know what I mean? We don't need to do none of that business. People already know, man. Football carnage is all about it. Listen, it's not about carnage. We don't bring the carnage in terms of, we bring the carnage in terms of hyping up the game and talking the tactics. And I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Hope you guys have smashed the like button. If you haven't, make sure you guys follow these people on the socials. Patrick's there, Twitter, Insta, YouTube. Patrick Tyrant, straight up. You understand? Man's always talking. As you can see, that's why I brought him on. Always talks nice, always talks respectful. And this is what this channel is about, first and foremost. Then you can bring your weapons and see what you got for us. You know what I mean? But Patrick, thank you very much for coming on, of course.
Yeah, no, it's been a pleasure, and it's been great to chat with Michael and Bilal. First time, obviously, I've seen them on your show, but I've not interacted with them on a podcast. So it's been great. But Lau, if we win, I'm coming for you, man. I'm coming for you. Trust me. So
listen, you need to follow Bilal on Twitter. Man's a
Oh, this guy's the biggest show. This guy's the biggest show of all time.
He's a smiling assassin. He never says anything rude. He never says anything like crazy, but he hurts you.
Okay.
All he does is post gifs and pictures. That's all he does.
Little cheeky ones, little cheeky ones. Like he doesn't like be
dicks.
nasty,
Yeah,
but
Okay,
and then you want to smash his face, but then you want to cuddle him at the same time. You understand? Them ones. But yeah, man. Listen. Of course, Michael and Bilal, we catch up in the week. I think we got Premier League Khanage coming up, and we got Eurostars coming up in the week as well. Bro, we need to speak on Eurostars, man. Napoli done a madness. We got Classico on Sunday. We got Sporting, I think, Porto as well. Sporting Benfica. Yo,
it's too many games. It's just
football season. Madness. Anyway,
don't stop, man.
Exactly. People, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Night, morning, afternoon, wherever you are. We out of here. Take care.